Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome. Welcome to All-Star Call of Cthulhu here at GenCon 2023, presented by the good folks, or potentially evil folks, at Chaosium. A round of applause for Chaosium. Once again, thank you to our studio audience, as I will refer to you. Sold-out crowd here at GenCon 2023, and we thank you for that. My name is Meer, and I will be your keeper of arcane lore for the scenario that we'll be playing today. But of course, a keeper is nothing without their players. So let's meet them right now. I'll ask you to hold on to your characters. We'll meet them in a moment, but just introduce yourselves, please. And we'll start over here with Luis.
Hey everybody, I'm Luis Carazo.
Hello, hello, I'm Josephine McAdam.
I'm Meer, and we met earlier.
Woo! Hi everyone, I'm Noura Ibrahim.
Hi, I'm Harli, Kane.
Yeah.
And I would like to offer personal thanks to all of the players for coming here today for the horror that you're about to experience. But before we get to that aforementioned horror, there are a few housekeeping notes that the folks at Chaosium have asked me to read to you. First of all, I would like to remind you all, or perhaps make you aware, that Graveyards of Arkham, the sequel to Bookshops of Arkham, is currently on Kickstarter. Thank you. We've had a lovely campaign. We were funded in, I believe, less than 2 hours. But of course, we always like to smash stretch goals. So we are on Kickstarter for another 4 days. There are 4 days left to back Graveyards of Arkham, so please do so. If you've already backed Graveyards of Arkham, I've been told that there are some add-ons, including those gravestones, that you might be able to avail yourself of and help us knock that number a little higher before the campaign ends. Also, if you have not visited the Chaosium booth on the floor yet, that is booth 509. And there are a number of events there that I would like to draw your attention to. Tomorrow at 2:30 p.m., myself, Josephine, and Patrick Logan from Bookshops of Arkham will be doing a little meet and greet. So we'll look forward to that. Also on Saturday at 3:30 p.m., we have Noura and Harli will also be doing a meet and greet. And on Saturday at 12:30 p.m., so before that, there will be a cosplay competition. And Harli, I believe you are in charge of that. Do you have any further information regarding that?
I am a guest judge, and I will say that, you know, I feel like you can be very, very creative. So, I mean, even if you don't think it would count, I think it would count. So you should stop by.
You can stop by the food trucks and just slather yourself in ketchup and be
See?
a victim
Very
of some
creative.
eldritch monstrosity. I'm sure we'd accept that. That would be fine. And furthermore, you have the opportunity to buy Call of Cthulhu starter sets. Right there at the back, that gentleman right there raising his hands, that's Brian from Chaosium. Luis has a copy right there, very nice. And those are available to you. You'll be able to pick those up right now. And I believe that the first few people through the door, or perhaps even the first 100 people, actually got a starter set. Is that correct, Brian? Oh, I'm sorry, yes. They got a copy of Scritch Scratch, an excellent scenario that I actually played here at GenCon a few years ago. So we invite you to enjoy that. And I believe that is all our housekeeping notes. So I think we might be ready to begin. Players, are you ready?
Yeah?
Maybe.
Audience, are you ready? You're probably a little more ready than that. Less ready, okay. That's fine. No, I was pandering. So, I believe we are ready to begin today's scenario. Players, the year is 1931. It is the morning of June 21st, to be specific. All of you live in Providence, Rhode Island, and all of you are residents of Ma Shanks's boarding house. Times are tough. The ravages of the Great Depression have spared only the lucky few, and sadly, your characters are not among those lucky few. Hard times for all. Mr. James Gardner A recluse who lives in your boarding house and is known to all of you has not been seen or heard from for 2 days. Each of you has a reason to see if he is in his room. I'll allow you your discretion, how much you're going to let your fellow characters know about your reasons, but suffice it to say, you all have reasons for looking into the whereabouts of Mr. Gardner. Through persuasion or bribes or your own means, the landlady, for example, has their own key, and has been convinced to unlock the door and check on the tenant, while also letting you inside. You've all gathered outside Mr. Gardner's room. Starting again over here on stage right with Louise, could you perhaps describe your character? Let us know who we are seeing, and perhaps what the other characters might know about you.
Yeah, so who you see is Rusty Gutierrez. And Rusty is about 58 years old, and he is maybe 5'11", but his posture is much more kind of hunched over, especially because of the last few years have been a little hard on him. So he's kind of feels a lot smaller than he actually is. Salt and pepper hair. He has a beard with a mustache that's a little bit longer that starts to curl on the edges a little bit. And he is standing with his arms crossed and in the corner, wearing a sweater, wearing slacks, and is just looking around this apartment, this room that he has never been in before, but has been wanting to explore for a long time.
Very well. Besides Rusty, there are several other individuals outside this door. Josephine, could you perhaps describe the next person in the hallway?
Today I am playing a young bookstore owner who's 29 years old. His name is Cthulhu, and he is here looking for some books that are overdue to be returned. I'm a bookstore owner. I'm sure some of you know me from my having come by probably for a book or two at Page Against the Machine. And I am diminutive, I think wiry, freckles, bespectacled face. I think they've got like brown shaggy hair, and he's just very sort of drawn into himself, you know. Yeah.
Very well. Another person standing in the hallway is?
The next person you see is Big Betty Briggs. Big Betty Briggs is blonde and brawny, and she is a business associate. Let me tell you, working in the, being an accountant in the 1930s sucks because everybody's out of money. So she makes a few bucks here and there doing some things we don't need to talk about, but she'll probably talk about them. Mostly underground fighting. So yeah, she's standing there with some beat up kind of business slacks and just a white undershirt. Who knows where the button up went? Smoking a cigarette and just shaking her head. What a shame. What a shame.
And finally, the person holding a ring of keys in her hand, the landlady of this boarding house.
Yeah, so you see Hilda Quinlan, and she's 38, and she's pretty simple in her dress and in her hair, like mousy, kind of brownish, light brown hair, pulled back into a low bun. She just looks kind of tired. She takes care of her son, Tommy, and who she loves very much, and she just is really, really worried about James. God, she's just so worried about him. I mean, like, landlords super care about their tenants, so she's just so worried about him that, of course, she's got to check on him. He's been missing.
Of course. And now it should be mentioned that you are not the owner of this boarding house. Ma Shanks, of course, is the owner of the boarding house. She is currently away, but you are the one that tends to, basically, you're the superintendent of this building, and Ma Shanks has entrusted you with that duty. She herself is getting on in years, so she can't quite do the duties that she did before. Your apartment is actually on this floor. The other three of you all live on the floor below. There is another level down with other tenants and common areas and such. But as mentioned, you all have reasons for wanting to check in on Mr. James Gardner. The aforementioned son, Tommy, who is, of course, Hilda's son, is standing at the top of the stairs, sort of occasionally going up on tiptoes to try to see past you, to see what's going on. You've already told him that he should stay back, so he does seem to be obeying you thus far, but you can tell that he's eager. He's excited about the possibility of something, anything happening in this boarding house that he calls home. And the rattling of the keys is the sound that fills the hallway right now as you search for the key that will open James Gardner's room. Would any of you like to say anything to each other?
You hadn't heard anything, right? Because I'm sure if you heard something, it's probably not true. Not that you did hear anything. I'm just saying, if you did hear anything, it's
It
probably
sounds like
not.
you've heard something. Have you heard anything?
Only that I haven't heard anything. If I did hear anything.
But if you
which I
did hear something, would you share it with the rest of us, or would you keep it to yourself?
I feel like that's entrapment, sir.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just, making sure that you're on your toes.
Look, we're just gonna just really quickly, just to make sure he's okay. We're all here to make sure he's okay, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
Is that really why we're all here? I mean,
Of course, that's why we're all here. Duh. There's no other reason I would have to check on James. I just really care about the, just.
But you don't really think he's okay, right? Like, you can tell that he has not been okay for a while, right?
No, he's
In
perfect.
fairness, who's been okay lately?
I mean, there's not okay, and then there's not okay. And
That's fair.
it seemed like he's. You haven't noticed some of the, noises from. No.
I
Just
mean,
me?
Noises? Have you heard noises?
it's always been a little bit strange, right?
Look, there is nothing wrong with Mr. Gardner. He is a lovely person, and I care a lot about him because he's a tenant, and he's always kept to himself. He's just always been that way, but, yeah, I'm a little worried.
He didn't mention a holiday or anything like that?
No, listen, I'm not gonna, he has asked me he asked me for some business advice in the past, and so, we had little friendly terms here and there regarding, work.
What kind of business advice?
You know when somebody says, like, I know a guy?
What do you mean?
Like when you need something done, no questions asked.
Okay.
When they're like, oh, I know a guy.
Uh-huh. Do you know a guy?
No, I'm the guy.
You're the guy. You're the guy.
I'm the guy, is what I'm trying to say, is I'm the guy.
So he came to you asking if you know a guy, but you're the guy.
Does that mean we know a guy? I had your accent for a second.
I mean, mathematically, you can conclude that, yes, therefore, ergo, yes, you do know a guy.
What kind of services do you provide?
I don't
We
think
could
that.
have a whole side conversation about that if there's something in trouble or if you need something. But usually, it's a case-by-case scenario.
I just don't think that Rusty knows what it means not to ask questions.
Oh.
I'm curious by nature. It's a good way to be.
Yeah, no, it's a lovely thing.
Well, let's just keep it down. Let's just get into the room.
Okay, but we can go in, yes?
I'll go in first.
I feel like we've established like a nice rapport here, and I'm sure that you need some moral support. Yes.
Oh yeah,
All
no, I'm
we
definitely
can-
going
yes,
in. Right?
For helping you go do
Yeah,
your landlord duties.
right behind you.
As long as nobody says anything to anybody else.
From behind you at the top of the stairs, you hear a child's voice, which you certainly recognize. Saying, "Geez Louise, Ma, you gonna open the room or not?"
Tommy, sweetie, isn't there something? Just go back into the apartment, okay?
But nothing's
Or go
going on in
outside?
there. There's something going on here, right?
No, there's nothing going on here.
As you're sorting through the keys, you hear from across the hall a radio playing. You, as the landlady, and actually all of you as residents of the building, know that it is the apartment of Mrs. Madeira, a recently widowed woman, who has mostly kept to herself since the tragic loss of her husband in an industrial accident. The song playing is one you all recognize, a big hit from a few years ago. "I'll See You in My Dreams" by Isham Jones. I would play it for you now, but that is not legally allowed. So I'll just remind you that it sort of goes, "I'll see you in my dreams." That's as much as I can legally do. And the strains of this music are playing as you do open the door.
Yes, I opened the door.
The key clicks in the lock. Probably for the sake of politeness more than anything else, you gave a little rap on the door before you opened it. You do know that there had been other people who'd knocked on the door and nothing had happened. So as the key turns in the lock, the door slowly opens. From within comes the lingering smell of candles, long since burned out, and something sickly sweet, coppery.
Uh-oh.
Looking in, as the smell fills all of your nostrils, you see a shocking scene. Framed in the shafts of sunlight streaming through gaps in the curtains, a body lying on the ground, lying on a tarpaulin of some kind which is stained with blood. The corpse lies on the tarpaulin, stretched out on the floor. Again, so much blood. The man's body and clothing are covered in it. It looks as though he somehow fell over from a kneeling position. The dead man is wearing a familiar green tweed coat and a brown sweater vest. You immediately recognize it, Hilda, as the clothes that Mr. Gardner often wears. His right hand is caked with dried blood, as if he'd plunged it into a bucket. And at this point, I will hand to each table a map of the room that you are currently standing at the doorway to. I will ask you not to look at the other side, please.
Yes. Oh.
As you can see, a fairly grisly scene. Perhaps some magic will be worked. There'll be an insert here in later once this is edited and post. But yes, this is what you see, a small bachelor apartment. There is a large bookshelf that has been used to sort of cordon off one section of this room for a small sleeping nook. At first glance, everything in the room appears to be in order, except, of course, for the corpse on the tarpaulin. There doesn't seem to have been any sort of fight in here. The furniture is upright, and there are no bloody footprints anywhere. The only unusual trappings sit on the floor in front of the body. A piece of blood-stained paper lies between two black candles, which have burned down to their stubs. They look like they were quite thick and wide, but as I say, now just nubs. Inside the room, as you can see on the map, going clockwise from the doorway, are a wardrobe, a bed, a nightstand with a lamp, that aforementioned ornate bookcase that divides the room into two living areas, a window and a radiator, a small table set in the corner with two chairs and another lamp, a once fancy upholstered chair that has seen better days but still looks relatively comfortable, overhead cabinets built into one of the walls, underneath which is a countertop with an electric hot plate, and another table along the wall to the right of the door. This is what you take in. And you, Hilda, immediately hear Can I look, Ma? What's up there? What's in there, Ma?
Oh my God, James.
Is he in there? Mr. Gardner?
Tommy, give me 1 second. Just
Yes, you
just give me 1
go
second.
out there.
And I'm gonna go and kind of like leave the room for a moment and like almost close the door behind me.
Yes, wanting to make sure that Tommy does not see. He's where he's positioned now, just because of the angle of the stairs and the hallway. Yeah, he cannot see. He is dutifully staying at the top step, as you told him. He does seem quite antsy, though. He can tell something's going on, especially. Now, did you leave the room?
Yes.
Yeah. So when he sees your face, he immediately goes, "Ma, you okay?"
Tommy, you need to listen to me right now. You need to go back to our apartment and shut the door. And I do not want to see you at the top of the steps. You understand?
Oh,
No.
Does anybody need help? I can go get help. You realize that, and remember, that there is a police station within a relatively short space. The neighborhood is safe enough that you probably would feel safe sending Tommy to go and fetch some policemen. And it would get him out of the building entirely, which might be for the best.
All right, Tommy, can you just one police officer? Can you just go to the police station and tell them to come to the apartment complex just for a moment so that I can speak to them?
The apartment complex? Mm-hmm. You mean the boarding house?
Yes, the boarding house.
Okay, yeah, sure, Ma.
Sorry.
Is everyone okay?
Everything is fine. I need you to do this and not ask any questions.
Okay, I'll get the police. Should I get them to send everybody?
No, just one.
Oh.
Just one. Let's just.
Sure, okay.
Mr. Gardner needs just a little bit of help, and so we just need the one police officer.
Oh, and I was like, let me show him the directions real quick. And as I'm like, hey, Tommy, and I flick him a nickel. I was like, go buy yourself some bubble gum along the way. You don't have to go right away.
Geez, I can buy a T-bone steak for this.
I don't know. It's adjust it for like actual like.
And in fact, I exaggerate. It was probably at least a quarter for a T-bone.
Whatever bought bubble gum in those days, go buy yourself
A penny.
Yeah, he'll get some comic books. He'll get all kinds of things.
No rush.
Yeah. All right. So, oh wait, not comic books because there'll be some. All right. So he seems pretty happy to get a nickel. His eyes bug out of his head, and he's like, "You bet."
Good kid. I just give him a little.
Would he call you Ms. Briggs or would he call you Betty?
He'd probably call me because he's such a polite boy. He always calls me Ms. Betty.
Ms. Betty. Very well. Yes. Sure thing, Ms. Betty. As he runs down the stairs, you can hear his feet receding into the distance, and there's only a few stories, so you can probably even hear the front door slam.
And then it just like close the door behind me, lock it.
I assume you come back into the room at that point, or do you lock?
Oh, I was seeing like if I could. I just did like an aside as that conversation was ending.
Oh, I see. Of course. Yeah. So Hilda turned back into the room. You had your private moment with Tommy, and now all of you are in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Having successfully prevented Tommy from seeing the blood-soaked horror within. So, Tommy has run to fetch the police. And all of you find yourselves in this room. All of you with your own reasons for being there.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh god. I'm gonna cover, like, so that I don't have to like look at the body as I move, and I'm gonna go to the bookshelf. And
Very
I'm
well.
just gonna look and see if I recognize any of the books that I lent to Mr. Gardner that I need to get back.
Right, so you're going to the bookshelf, the large bookshelf which is dividing the room.
Yeah, I'll get over the body if I need to.
No, you can actually make, as you can see on the map, you can basically,
Go
take a
right.
diagonal. You wouldn't have to cross over the body
Great.
at all to make it there. So you're going to the bookshelf, yes?
Yes, although I guess on my way, I am curious about the piece of paper that's in.
That you would definitely need to cross into the room, as you can see on the map. It's basically that small white bit that is at the top of the tarpaulin. And as mentioned, there are two what used to be black candles that have melted down into puddles of wax and just little stubs. You can see they did burn down all the way.
Yeah, I will just peek at the piece of paper because I'm really worried he tore it out of one of my books.
It's got weird writing on it. You're not quite familiar. At this distance, it's hard to say. You might want to cross all the way over there, or do you want to go to the bookcase?
I'll get closer.
Very well. How careful are you being about, let's see, you did say stepping over, so if you're stepping over, I'll need a dex roll, please.
Oh.
Okay.
What is your dexterity, by the way?
40.
40. So not particularly, let's say a little below average when it comes to dexterity. You, of course, given this is Call of Cthulhu, you'll want to roll low. You'll want to get below 40.
38.
38. You very nearly put your foot straight down into a large puddle of blood, but you managed to right yourself, and you are able to, if you would like to, pick up the piece of paper.
Oh my God. I'm going to take out a handkerchief from my cardigan pocket. Or something.
What are you doing?
Well,
this is a crime scene. Are you going to...
Well, this might belong to me.
That?
Are you involved?
Yes, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I think it's pretty obvious that you're involved.
I would have nothing to do with this.
Then why are you so concerned?
Books?
Why are you trying to... There's police on their way over here, and you're trying to mess up the crime scene. That's very suspicious to me.
I'm just trying to have a closer look, okay? My vision is not all it's made out to be, and I just need to take a look. I'll put it right back in a moment.
Very well. So, having made your dex roll, I will give you this. I have another version for this side of the table, if you do, in fact, let them see it. So, you glance at the page. You are fairly familiar with the books that you had lent James Gardner. The reason that you're here, in fact, these books that you need back from him. You don't think this came from any of the books. However, you, I believe, are skilled in ancient languages. Is that correct?
Yes, I think I have ancient Greek.
Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, at a glance, you realize what that is. It is, in fact, in ancient Greek, and if you would like to make a roll, you can perhaps decipher it.
Yeah. Let's have a look. So I hear reading things in Call of Cthulhu never goes badly.
Especially out loud.
I failed.
What did you get?
I got a 64 over 40.
60.
Yeah, look it up.
I would
Already?
highly recommend
Okay.
using some luck on this. So how
I'll
much
use-
luck are you having to expend?
Just 24 points of luck.
24. Well. Nevertheless,
Big spender.
nevertheless,
You're right.
you could push if you would like to. Then you won't have to spend that luck. Reroll, but there may be consequences for that failure. I mean, it's a lot of luck to expend.
What do you all want? What do you want?
Okay.
This is a bloodthirsty group. I love it. That's
All right.
Oh!
It's a 91.
Not quite a fumble on that,
I see
But-
what side you're on.
but I'm going to give this to you. However, the consequences of your roll, as you're trying to decipher this, you sort of stop paying attention to where you're putting your feet, and you actually feel the blood ooze into your shoe. It's not fresh blood. It's like very sludgy, congealed blood. It's been here for a few days. But yeah, you can, again, times are tough. You haven't resoled your shoes in quite a while. This particular shoe had a big hole worn in the bottom. You feel your sock grow damp as you have stepped into this congealed blood, and you can feel it just oozing into your shoe. However, being someone who knows their way around ancient Greek, you've got that consequence, but I'm going to give you this. You may now flip over the map. No, not that.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. If you flip over that, you'll only see Rusty's character sheet, but yes. So, this writing, do you let the other, like if any of the others are perhaps peering over your shoulder?
I'm definitely
Yeah,
peering
Rusty.
over your shoulder.
Yeah, Rusty, and you're right beside, so you can see that. So I will let the others
I
see
can't
this.
contain
In case
myself.
there's a little bloody sheet here.
Yes. So that is what is on. Of course, the rest of you can, unless you happen to have ancient Greek, can make neither head nor tail of this.
No.
Interesting, interesting.
It is indeed.
And in fact, as this is going on, from the moment where everybody's like, noticing the body and like about the books and everything, I'm just like, oh no, I can't watch. And I'm like looking behind me if there's like a desk or.
As I mentioned, everything that's, what are you looking?
So I'm looking at this desk by the door, by the entranceway,
Sure thing.
to see if this is where, he would conduct. Is this like his little mini office?
Well, this is less a desk and more of a long table.
Gotcha. Okay, this wasn't the little seating. All right, so I'm just kind of great, like surveying the room for where he would, what looks like a good spot where he would sit down and keep his, records of his business dealings that we may.
You're looking for
we
like
may
a
know.
journal.
Maybe.
Very well. All right, so we'll resolve that in just a moment. Back over here, now because I did actually give you the translation, I will require the expenditure of those luck points.
Yeah, fair.
And it's up to you whether you decide to let your fellow investigators in on what this says.
Yes, strange. It's ancient Greek. It says,
What's it say? Out loud.
I call upon Yog Sothoth to hear my request. The gate and the key, this vessel has been prepared. Empty this body, transport my will, prepare the way to dreams, La Yog Sothoth. Open.
That's just, you would recognize this. You might not realize that because of the writing, but it's Iya Yog
Oh,
Sothoth.
yes, sorry. Yeah, Yog Sothoth.
Yeah.
Open the gate.
You read some weird books.
Yes, I do.
As mentioned, you're familiar with the books that you lent out, as you're familiar with most of the books in Page Against the Machine, your bookstore. But this is not one of them as far as you can tell.
Well, it's not one of mine, and I'll put it back down.
Although you are aware that one of the books that you lent to James Gardner was a primer in Greek vocabulary.
Right. Yes. He had borrowed quite a few books that might have been handy for whatever this was. Excuse me, as I'm going to just step away and.
You do, and you leave a big bloody footprint
I
behind.
want to hop away.
Okay, all right.
You should take your shoes off.
I would like to change. It's.
God, you're making
Yeah,
a mess.
it was a botched roll, however, so even though you were quite careful and you don't actually
Yeah.
put your foot down, like a big glob of blood goes onto the floor.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's like leaking out. As I hop, it just splatters along the way. And I'll sit on the bed and switch out, like take off.
Okay, so you make your way over to the bed to take off your shoe. Okay, interesting. I just
Sorry, I thought it was Monday.
I wanted to keep note of that. I will, before you sit down, I will let you notice that the bed is made, but there is an indentation on the pillow and on the top, as if someone had slept on top of the covers.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that has happened. You've got that over there. You read that out. And the long table by the door, which Betty has sort of surreptitiously been trying. Do you have stealth as a skill?
I sure hope so. Let me see. Yes, I do. I am quite
All right.
stealthy.
Then I'll ask you to make a stealth roll just to see if any of the other people in the room notice that that is what you were doing, checking out this table.
I rolled a 7.
Very good, yes.
So that is an extreme success.
The others in the room, they wouldn't even notice really that you'd kind of very slightly drifted over and peered. They would, and nobody else in the room notices that this is going on. It's very, very nice roll there. So I will tell you, on the table are piles of disorganized correspondence, along with an attractive wooden holder for pens and paper and pens and envelopes, that sort of thing. A man's hat sits in the corner of the table, and you do note something at the very top of this pile of correspondence. In fact, you recognize your handwriting.
Oh, no.
It is a note that you wrote, that you remember writing to Gardner a few days ago, asking if the ledgers had been finished. Again, no one else is privy to this information. And of course, you remember the contents of this because you wrote it. It implored him to make haste. And I won't go on any further. I will say that you know that this was written on June 14th.
I want to eat the note.
I'm going to let you keep going on that stealth roll, that really good stealth roll that you just made. So you're just like, casually, your arm behind you. You manage to get the note. It's in your possession right now. And in fact, with that 7 stealth, you actually managed to, it's like, I just got to scratch my, And you managed to, yes, if you would like to, you can eat that note.
I am eating that note.
Yeah, and somehow you managed to do it without so much as a crinkle of paper. I mean, the column is sort of hopping, and people are like, oh, the blood. And,
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
there's plenty of distractions going on. So you are quite confident that you managed to consume that note that you sent to Gardner without anybody seeing. You also see, once you take that note, you can see that there are other letters. One of them is open, and the rest all seem to be sealed. So unopened correspondence, obviously he never got to them.
If I'm also allowed in this time, if I do have time to just kind of see what's...
Sure, yeah. Because so as you're enjoying your meal...
A lot of fiber.
From this, again, it was right underneath there, so you can actually, glance and see that it looks to be a letter from Gardner's bank manager in Scotland. You knew he was a native of Scotland, and clearly he maintained an account over there. Again, just from this quick glance, it seems to be regarding the dwindling funds in his account. It's a fairly short, terse letter, so it's easy to read and quickly, and it's warning that unless measures are taken to address the situation, Gardner's account will be cleaned out within the next 6 months.
Ooh. Okay. But this is a person that I'm not familiar with.
No, as I say, this is a bank manager in Scotland. It's on the official letterhead of the bank.
I mean, tough times, guys.
Bank of Edinburgh, let's say.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything that looks like a binder or a book of any sort of bookkeeping?
You are pretty familiar with what that would look like, and you don't see anything there. Right. As I say, there's a range of unopened correspondence, letters that seem to come from. There are a few. Again, you can on some of them they're turned around, so you can actually see that there are from Scottish or English senders. There are some domestic stuff. As well as some from further afield.
All right, I'm just gonna keep not drawing attention to myself, although I did just crumple up a whole piece of paper and stuff it in my mouth.
Yeah,
and just
you had to, I'll say that stealth roll was also for your saliva glands, so you actually to be able to get that down.
I hadn't had a good meal in a while, so.
It's the depression.
It is the depression. I'm just gonna kind of trying to keep my eyes about.
Looking over from the bed over this way, I'm like, hey guys, isn't it strange that that chair is just facing the wall?
Absolutely. What is that about? I am going to, I'm going to start moving to that chair to take a look at this seat that's facing the corner instead of facing inside of the room. But looking around at this now completely messed up crime scene, Hilda.
Hilda does seem quite distraught. In
I'm
fact,
like
she has
kneeling next to the body
very well.
Oh no.
Are
in tears. I'm not touching it.
still you're kneeling next
Yep.
to the body. Could I get a dex roll, please?
Okay.
Oh man.
It's fallen onto the body.
Ooh, 83. And my dex is 50.
I mean, you were trying to be careful, but you are somewhat overcome with emotion, and so yeah, you also feel dampness on your knees as you've clearly knelt in some of the blood. As you can see from the drawing, it's quite a big pool. Are you touching the body at all?
Yeah, I actually want to like look at him.
Very well.
I want to like, pull him over so I can see, because is he on his back?
He is
Or on his-
lying, as you can see in the diagram, he's
He's
sort
like
of
on
lying
his
on his
side?
side, and you get the impression that he fell down from a kneeling position in front of these candles. And we will get to that in a moment, but I believe that Rusty had first said that he wanted to go over to the upholstered chair.
Well, yes. On my way there, I turn to Hilda and then see that she's overcome and then collapses. And now that I'm seeing that this crime scene is just completely defiled, I'm going to step away. I don't know how to comfort you in this very strange moment. I don't understand why. Did you get along with him? What is?
Why does it even matter? What are you guys doing? He's
Girlfriend.
dead. He's just.
It's a shame, yes. But you know what? You know what also concerns me is that this is going to, well, first of all, now we're all caught in it because there's evidence on multiple of you. I'm not involved. So
I'm gonna throw my sock at
I'm going to
Rusty.
dodge it. I don't want that. Dodging the sock.
Give me, unless you have a specific throwing skill, just give me a dex. Wait, improvised weapon? Sure, yeah. Just give me a straight dex roll.
Dex roll.
Oh, no.
And you can use your dodge to try to get out of it. What did you get?
60.
Oh, okay. It's not a particularly good throw.
So I just stand there.
yeah.
But what if,
Let's
let me see.
Let's see what your
Let's see
dex
how badly I
looks like, or dodge roll.
So a dodge, if it's dex, then that's 53 out of 80. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah,
But
you're actually quite dexterous.
Oh, but if I'm dodging, then that's a fail. Because I got 40 at a dodge. I got a 80 dex with 40
Yeah,
dodge.
you know what? I'm going to make this an opposed dex as opposed to a straight-up
Fair.
dodge roll, because again, it's a sock. So, so yeah, this sock sort of goes on the ground beside you, but it doesn't get any blood on you.
I'm just going to take that back.
So
Are you crossing the room to get your sock, or?
why is everything?
Yeah.
I want to know where you are in the room at all times,
Yes.
for no reason at all.
Yeah. You know what?
No reason.
In fact, I will just chase Rusty with my sock
No,
until
no,
you get
no.
some blood on you.
Oh,
All right, so while this is going on, I don't think we're going to get to the chair quite yet. You actually said you turned the body over. All right. Well, no spot hidden roll required for this. As you turn him over, again, this blood is congealed, so there's almost like long strings of it sticking to the body and the floor, and a wet sort of sucking sound, like as he is rolled over. He's quite dead and has been, you're not an expert, but you'd say he might have been dead for days. And the look on his face, even before that, the first thing you notice is something underneath him on the floor. It looks like a knife, but not like a typical knife. It's made from some sort of black material, stone, but sort of glassy almost. Do you happen to have any natural world or any other skill that might be applicable to identifying a type of stone? You can also give me a luck roll if you like.
Yeah, let's go with that. That's just the. Is that? Or I just need to roll lower than 60?
Yes.
Okay. 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard of this. You think, again, you're no expert, but you think this might be obsidian. This is, of course, a kind of volcanic stone, volcanic glass, really, that is formed when there are eruptions by the heat. So, it's sitting there on the floor, this obsidian blade. Again, it's got a weird styling to it. It doesn't look like a typical knife. It's almost as if it had some sort of ritualistic use.
Oh my God, do you think, did he do this?
Now, you are right beside the body. As I mentioned, I did not require, and because you actually moved the body, I did not require any sort of spot hidden for that. And also, I can give you this information because you're right there, you're seeing him. There is a deep cut on Gardner, freshly made, around the head, as if a knife had traced a spiral from the crown all the way around and then down across his neck.
Oh man.
His clothes are blood-soaked, and his shirt, now that you've turned him over, you can see is unbuttoned. You can see strange, again, lots of blood, but you can see there are strange markings on his chest, almost like scars. They're in a strange spiral pattern. You can't really tell more just from this glance. And as mentioned, the blood is dry, except for like the deeper pools, which, as you discovered, are more sort of a congealed, jelly-like consistency.
Right.
If you would like, you can make, and I assume the rest of you are sort of gathering in as this knife is discovered and whatnot. So, the applicable skills would be spot hidden, of course, and if anyone has first aid, they can also use that. I will tell you, it's probably too late to administer first aid.
Right.
But the knowledge that you have from first aid could provide
Right.
provide some
do-
further
It was
information.
first aid, and what was the other one? I'm sorry.
Spot hidden, which I think everyone should have at least some sort
Spot
of.
hidden.
I do have first aid. I think probably at this point, I've been successfully socked. With sock.
Yes, yeah, you actually do
Now I
now
have
have
a
like
streak
a
of
stain.
blood on me. Great. Now I'm.
Now we're in
complicit.
this together.
Well, I guess I suppose that's
You're
what.
the one who wanted to be friends.
Yes, but not.
This
I-
is.
Well,
Now,
this is
when-
one way to make friends.
Yes, we're connected.
We are. And
So you've abandoned all, or sort of like, let's not touch anything. It's like, well.
Now I'm just like, okay, here we are, and so I'm going to go down and take a closer look. I want to.
Okay, so what's your higher skill? First aid or spot hidden?
My first aid is higher by
Okay,
5.
very well.
So let's see.
And question, is anyone, let's also talk about how you were searching the body. Are you, for example, going through the pockets? Are you opening the shirt wider to see things?
Pockets.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you'll check the pockets.
check
You're making a first aid
Yes.
roll. Anybody else using first aid?
Can I help with the first aid if he was like, if to assist in if I'm?
You can make your own
I can
roll,
make
and
my
you
own
might
roll.
have you might have a hard
Okay.
success, you might have extreme. So
Alright,
we can.
cool.
You're both using that. Are
I'm
the
both
two of you
using
using
pockets.
spot hidden then?
No, I was wondering about how about like an occult roll.
I'll let you make an occult roll. Yes.
Okay.
And
I'm
spot
gonna
hidden
do
for-
spot hidden. Yes.
Okay, so let me know the results of your rolls.
I got a 38 under 50.
38 on a 50, the
So,
regular success.
I'm spending 8 luck points.
You spent to get occult. You have a pretty high
I
occult.
have a very
too.
high occult.
Okay.
I just rolled really bad.
All right, so a regular success on
Yeah, I got a 12 under 45.
12 on.
45.
Oh, great. Okay, so
that an
that
extreme
is
or
definitely a hard. I think it's not quite an extreme success, but it's very good.
You said you got a 23 under 45?
A 12.
Oh, 12.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
yeah,
not quite.
That's a hard success.
That is a hard success. And
I have a hard success. I got a 23 under 50, so that's under the 25. But I'd like to make that an extreme success.
okay.
Spend
Oh,
13
I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah.
Hard and extreme in this case. You can just do a hard success.
Okay.
I won't
I'm
make you
asking
blow
a lot
up.
of questions.
Yeah, that's cool. So let us begin. We'll start here. We'll go stage right to stage left.
Okay.
So We begin with a hard success on first aid.
Yes.
So you can tell that the wounds on the hand and neck are deep and appear hastily made. Blood loss was no doubt severe and inevitably fatal once the neck was slashed. Looking at the older scars on his body, arms, and legs, they appear to have been made over the course of some months. Some of the scarification is fresher than others. Now, that's what you would have got from just a regular success. Because you have a hard success, you know all of that information, plus you are pretty sure that the wounds were self-inflicted.
Oh, that was my question.
From the position and angle of the wounds, it appears that Gardner was right-handed. And the spiraling cut around the head appears to have begun at the very top of the crown and worked its way down to the neck. And it's evident that he would have had to move the knife between his hands as he was doing this, slowly carving this spiral down around his entire head and then finishing with a slash across the neck, which was delivered in a very swift and violent manner. And in fact, you can see like just the spray of blood where it hit. You even look, you can see that there's a bit of blood, there's little spatters on the window and like the radiator. So it was clearly like, yeah, it was like slow, painful, switching hands to get it all the way down. And then finally a violent slash across the neck with, arterial spray, the entire thing. So that is what we get from a hard...
There's not nearly enough detail in this.
Yes.
I'm lost.
I'm unclear on what it is that I'm seeing and experiencing.
So that was that hard success. You had a regular first aid
I
success.
had a regular first aid,
So
but I'm looking through pockets.
Yes. So, and you are actually doing an active search of the pockets. We'll get to that in just a moment. But for those who made their spot hidden roll, Gardner has scarification markings across the back of his hands. And as you move the clothing, you can see on his arms and legs. And as you open the shirt slightly more, all across his blood-covered torso. These are all shaped like small spirals. Closer examination of these markings revealed that they do probably cover, I don't know how in-depth you get, but you're guessing they cover his entire body. And as mentioned from the first aid roll, the marks range in age, seemingly acquired over months. His face and head appear to be completely free of the older spiral scars, just the very fresh, the one that started at the top and went all the way down across his neck. And of course, you've already discovered the obsidian blade because you did make that roll. You actually moved the body earlier. It is very sharp indeed. Does anyone have appraise or would like to make an appraise roll?
I do. I would like to make an appraise roll.
Sure.
Are these on, what am I appraising?
This is the dagger itself. So we'll hold that, just we'll remember, because you're going through the pockets right now, but you will be able to appraise the dagger in just a moment. And occult. These spirals are a common theme, especially in ancient cultures. And certainly this almost seems, it has a feeling of something very ancient. The candles, certainly, and the positioning of that piece of paper that you saw, your occult roll is combined with your success in ancient Greek. This is clearly some sort of ritual. Mm-hmm. And it has the hallmarks, again, from your occult roll of a sacrificial ritual. But in this case, it appears to have been self-sacrifice. You know that in ancient cultures, that is perhaps invoking some of the strongest magic possible. It's been seen in various cultures and was believed to open gateways to enormous power or potential. Again, the black candles, those are used quite a bit in occult rituals and religious rituals, going back, again, centuries, even millennia.
Okay.
Question. Just one question, that's all I have. So there's nothing about this that suggests that someone else's hand was involved. Everything on him seems self-inflicted.
Yeah, with that hard first aid,
Yeah.
you're pretty sure that's what happened.
Well, we are covered in his blood.
Well, yes, we are. I'm all in it.
And from across the hall, you can still hear the radio playing. This time it's Duke Ellington, Mood Indigo.
Okay, I have a healthy habit of roaming around the halls and sort of occasionally listening, listening on what my neighbors might be up to, which is, I know, I've heard, and I'll say this to the group. Look, when I'm going on my walks, I have heard from here some sort of strange sounds. I've heard him here reciting something. This is all now making sense. And what I thought was, I don't know, maybe some sort of poetry. Now it's clearly some sort of a ritual. But have I heard music playing from the neighbor across the way?
Mrs. Madeira?
Mrs. Madeira. Have I heard radio playing out of
Yes,
room
she listens
normally?
to the radio, certainly, especially because since her husband's death, like she hasn't really gone anywhere. That's what she does.
This is part of her morning.
She sits home and she just has the radio on.
So
You do know Mrs. Madeira has noted your habit of going around and eavesdropping. You're pretty sure, you get the impression that she doesn't like you very much. Specifically you. She's in mourning, but she's relatively friendly with everybody else. She has never given you anything but a scowl.
Which doesn't make any sense because
Yeah.
I understand what it's like to lose your partner. I've lost my partner 12 years ago, and it's something that's hard to get through. And every day I think of her, and I pull out a lighter, which is the old lighter that my wife, who passed 12 years ago, it was her lighter. And although I didn't like that she smoked, I really was fascinated with this, like the blue ribbon of smoke that kind of floats in the air and the way she held it. And it's funny how when someone that you care about so much has passed, it's weird those things that you remember about them. And she used to sit by the window, and it was the beam of light through the window that would catch that ribbon of smoke. And with that, I turned my eyes to the window because I'm noticing that the sun is beaming through. And I'll call everyone to it. Look, I think that the position of the sun had something to do with whatever ritual was going on here because is the sun setting?
No, it's coming up on noon. It's
coming up
actually,
on noon.
it's a little past 11 right now. You entered a few moments ago. As I said, actually, it's a little deceptive on here. The window isn't like wide open. It's basically coming in through, there's a small space.
A small slit.
Yeah.
Could we determine that moments ago the sun was at a point in the sky where it was shining on him?
Give me an intelligence roll.
Oh no.
That's not bad.
I'm usually not playing
bad.
smart characters. It's probably one of the smartest characters I've played. But not today. That is an 86 over 60. But you know what? I'm gonna, it's 2 hours long. Let's burn some luck. Have a show. So push.
You could just push it,
Could just push?
Yeah, you could.
Oh, let's do it. You guys want? Yeah, let's push it. Push it. Oh, I sure did. Thank you for that. That's a 17.
Okay, great.
Nice.
Well done.
So that is a hard success.
So you're sort of going like this and trying to back up, and because you succeeded, there's no consequences, so you stop before you realize you would have backed up into the blood. And yeah, you're like, the sun is coming up. It's not quite at its apex now because it's not quite noon, but yeah, the sun would probably be streaming in here. The sun will be directly overhead at noon. It is the longest day of the year today, so there'll be a lot of sunlight. And yeah, you suppose that maybe this position would be bathed in sun right around noon.
Okay.
Midday on the longest day of the year.
So
Why?
What?
I'm just going to hold you right there, just because we've got simultaneous action going on. and the searching of the pockets.
Yeah, I'm looking through these pockets because, for no reason.
So you also made a first aid roll, so you got all that information.
did.
You didn't get all, you're not quite as convinced as Rusty is that there's all this self-inflicted wounds and whatnot, but
Right.
you did note the deepness of the wounds and the spiral nature and the
Yeah.
slash across the neck. And you did also, especially as you're searching through the pockets, it's like, yeah, some of these spirals that are carved into almost every inch of his body are
That's
quite old.
Real weird.
Yeah, they've
And
healed
old.
up over who knows how long. In the pockets, you find the following items. $1.47 in loose change. You
My
probably actually take the time to count and roll the coins. No, but that is how much it is. A wallet, which does have the identification of Mr. James Gardner, and within the wallet is a further $2, $2 bills.
I just
It's like
pocketed it. I'm like, he
so many T-bone steaks. Yeah.
He would have wanted this.
I'll require a separate stealth roll for that.
Okay, but as I'm trying to do this, I'm just trying to deflect with my words, with my I'm trying to do like a little sleight of hand here. But I'm like, what is it that you're looking at? What are you looking at? What's over there?
Well, I'm just, I want to better understand the fullness of whatever this ritual was because.
Wait, you know you know stuff about ritual?
This was clearly a ritual.
Yeah.
I mean, this is clearly a sacrificial ritual. I mean, the symbols, the spirals, it's, ancient.
And
You
ritualistic.
said you heard noises from this apartment?
Oh yeah, I heard. I would say these
When?
speaking of words that in this ancient language. I thought it was
Ancient-
poetry.
And it wasn't just jazz music, like from what's it face?
No. To be clear, the jazz music is a normal thing that she's been doing since she's been in mourning. I've checked on her about that. I've asked her about that, and she doesn't like me much.
So the
but
noises from here was definitely not jazz music.
That was not jazz music.
and in fact, it's not jazz music that's playing right now. It is Goodnight, Sweetheart by Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadian Orchestra.
Oh, that gets me. Because that was a song that my wife and I enjoyed.
And going specifically, Betty, again, because I think I just had you do a stealth last time to
roll,
do that.
so-
But this is even more so than what you were doing before. This is specifically sleight of hand, so you'll be using that skill.
Okay, that's much lower.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been great if I could use stealth because I was a 60, but my sleight of hand is a 30, and I rolled 73.
Oh.
So I'm going to spend a lot of luck.
Push it!
Push it, push it.
Good push.
Push it.
Push it!
I'm going to
Push
push.
it!
Okay, so I just re-roll for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Now we want blood.
Yeah, we do.
let's see what's gonna
heat.
happen.
Trying to beat a 30.
Try to beat a 30, and I rolled a 23.
Wow!
Okay. If you'd failed this push roll, there would have been a loud clatter as all this change went everywhere. But quiet as a whisper, all of this money disappears into various pockets.
Right.
Do you also take the $2 that's in the wallet?
Yeah.
Very well. What about the wallet itself
I
and
did.
his
I
ID?
pocket the whole thing. I mean, in one swoop, less.
Okay, so you also want this dead man's wallet and ID on you? I just want to be clear. I just like clarity is what I always seek. So.
You know, Mark Meer. I feel like you have also trapped me in this situation. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
Okay, all right, yeah, and it was a successful roll.
Got our
so
fall guy.
Nobody knows. All of you saw Betty going through the pockets, but it doesn't seem like she's come up with anything so far.
But my question is, do I notice the knives? Because the knives are there.
The
And
obsidian?
you're talking about the obsidian knives.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you've
Look
got
at the knife.
the obsidian knife is there.
So does this, ring a bell to me?
You, of course, do know details of your own backstory. Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Yeah. I mean, I'll say it out loud. The characters don't know this, but the players.
Yeah,
I'll.
I wanted to know if I noticed the
Yeah.
knives among
This is them.
This situation.
This is one of them.
Okay. Cool.
Do you want to let the audience and the players, but not the characters, in on what we're talking about here, or would you prefer to play that close to the vest?
Let's keep it in the game because at this point, Listen, I got to level with you guys. You were absolutely right, Rusty. You got footprints. You got your footprints all over here. Cops are going to be coming over. You threw bloody socks.
Yeah, and it got me. Look at this.
You were like right up in there. Listen, you know what I've been doing maybe, but like.
I closed the door at this point because now we're all criminals.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we've gotten ourselves in a really sticky situation here.
But the truth is, I don't know what you guys are doing here.
I like you. That's good. Keep that up.
No,
That's a
what
good
are
attitude.
you-
Well, we're here.
Why?
This is good because they're gonna ask us this, so
They're
we
gonna
need
ask
to
us stuff.
we need to come up with a
No,
good
no,
answer.
no, but really, why are you in here?
Because you let us in.
This is amazing.
Yes,
Keep
You
that
were here
up.
because you let us in.
No, I know why I am in here. I don't know why any of you wanted to come in here. Now he is dead.
Well, no, he was dead before.
Yeah. Came in your first.
Well, all that matters is that he is dead, and I don't know why any of you care about James Gardner. I know why I care about him.
why do
all
you
of
care?
us.
Why do
Yeah,
you
that's
care?
Well, why
actually-
don't you
That's a
guys
good
answer the
question.
question?
Like, how could you care? You didn't let anybody in. Like, nobody talked to him. How many of
talked-
us actually knew him?
I talked to him.
About what?
Oh, I see.
You're in love with him. You were.
Oh.
You had a situation.
Wait, and you never. Okay, but hold on. You never noticed these scars all over his body?
Before this goes any further, I'm loving it. But I should let Betty know that you did find a couple of other things. I'm not sure if you want to squirrel these away or not.
Let's figure out. Let's find out.
You found a keychain with the key to the room. It looked very much like the key that was used to open the door.
Okay.
And another smaller key, sized to fit perhaps a cupboard, a cash box, desk lock, something like that. And you also found a pack of matches, which was unlabeled, just a plain brown match pack of matches,
Thought it was a clue.
with 6 matches remaining.
Interesting.
Many you.
I'll make a note
So
of that.
I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you had those things. Did you steal that like you stole the money, or?
Yes, if I was allowed to with that role, I'm
Yep.
pocketing.
That sleight of hand roll, I think, for all the things. Again, it looked like she was going through the pockets, but came up empty. So yes. Now we return to this very in-depth conversation.
So about those scars.
Yeah.
Well, we never did anything improper, obviously.
They're on his
I am
hands.
a proper landlady, okay? I would have, we talked, okay? He talked to me more than anybody else.
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, like, we just got to figure out what our story is here.
No, I want to figure out what your story is.
I'll just interject because the scars on the hands were mentioned with your hard success on first aid. Those scars on the hands, relatively fresh. In fact, the older scars seem to be the ones that would have been the most easily hidden. So we probably started on easily hidden areas, and then the scars on the hands, relatively recent. And then, of course, the most recent of all, the spiral cut around the head and neck. So,
Right.
Did you
so
forget?
just wanted to make sure you guys had that information.
I'm gonna have
So-
dreams of Mark describing this spiral.
Yeah.
Look, I just wanted to know. I want to know about everybody here. You know, there's things that are happening right under our noses that are suspicious, and I think that we all will suffer from the deeds that other people are doing. What are the consequences for you, for this place, for all of us, when the authorities come here and find out that this is what's happened here? Do you think they're gonna let us all stay here?
Oh, no, that's why I'm saying we got to figure something out here. We're all in this now. I know none of us did it. I think none of us did it. I know I didn't do nothing.
No.
But right now, we're all in here, and we got to make sure we do whatever we need to do.
You're saying we need to hide the body.
No. No. That's not what I was getting at all. But I'm saying, like, we all wanted to come in here,
Yeah.
and not just to be looky-loos, because we're way past looky-loos.
Well, that's all I really wanted to do. I just wanted to, get a little bit of information on this guy. I didn't know I was going to find this.
I mean, the body is conveniently located on a waxed tarpaulin. Unfortunately, a lot of blood has been tracked around the room at this point, so...
He clearly did this to himself. We didn't do anything wrong. Look, I just want my books.
Wait.
Yes?
But then you're saying that this is definitely a ritual and it was definitely completed.
What? I don't
Does that?
No, is there
Do
way for me to
you
tell?
not know or do you not know?
You know how to read that stuff.
mean,
I don't know how you don't. You
again,
gotta know.
This did seem to be a sacrificial ritual, and it does seem that the sacrifice was completed.
made.
Yeah.
Well, it
That
seems-
much you can tell.
We need to figure out what this ritual was for.
Right, it seems to have been completed.
All right, all right.
Would you like to look anywhere else in the room?
Everywhere else.
Yes, I want to look everywhere.
Where
At
shall,
this point-
now, I believe you, again, because you just mentioned the books, and in
yeah.
fact, when you say, I want to
really
look for my
want-
books, you probably make a beeline
Yes.
for that bookcase.
I really want.
Yeah, this is
Rather
a book-
ornate bookcase.
Well, I would love to actually check the book that's on the bedstand,
Okay, so to the bedstand first, and then you'll look
and
at...
then the ornate. Yes,
Very well.
I think so.
So, first we go to the nightstand. You'd already, I think someone had already looked at in fact, it was you who had noted that thing about the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
We'll
there's-
revisit that.
As you're making your way to the nightstand, you do note that there's a pair of slippers and a pair of worn but fairly well-maintained brown shoes placed neatly beside it.
Ooh.
As you reach the nightstand,
I,
brown shoes, yes.
I,
By the lamp
new shoes.
on the nightstand is, in fact, an old book, The Dreamer's Dictionary.
this is
Take a look.
my book. This is my book.
That's the one you were missing?
This is
Yes,
what you
this
think
is
you-
very rare. 1815, first edition.
Oh, it's a first edition. That's
Wait, it-
that's a thing.
It seems to me that he's been reading it because normally someone's going to read themselves to sleep.
So what? He's got nightmares.
I will also tell you, because you're right there at the nightstand, that there is a drawer in the nightstand slightly ajar.
I'm going to open it.
Yeah.
Inside, you find a slim, what looks like a journal, along with a small corked bottle of liquid and a small vial, which appears to contain some sort of off-white powder.
Oh.
Okay. He likes the party.
Interesting. This might give us some answers. Pull out the journal.
Yes.
Start thumbing through.
Don't you think that's kind of
Read the last page.
personal? Don't you, I mean,
What do you think he's written about you in here?
I will be
let's see.
I'm just
Also,
gonna- oh, so-
I'll just let everyone know that if you want to determine what the substances in the bottle and vial are, any doctor or pharmacist could easily identify. I don't think any of you are that.
No.
However, you can determine what the substances are with a first aid, medicine, science, pharmacy roll, or a hard no roll. So a hard intelligence roll.
I'll try intelligence.
I'll try intelligence, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll do it. I'm apparently I'm a little smarter than I seem.
Yeah, me too. I was
Me
surprised.
too.
I got exactly a hard roll on no.
Okay.
Hard success.
Did you get
35.7.
first aid roll?
I did not.
Okay, so you do. Successful knowledge roll.
I rolled a 15 under 80 on my intelligence roll. So
Okay.
extreme success.
Extreme success, right?
Yeah, I got a 4 under 60.
What?
So
Okay. So
maybe
between,
shared, I
Get
don't know.
Nancy.
so perhaps not Rusty, but certainly Colin, and definitely Hilda and
I've
Betty.
seen this powder before.
Yeah, in fact, given what I know of your backstory, you take the vial out, and the rest of you might not know what this signifies, but Betty takes a little of this and, yeah, rubs it on her gums and is like, this is cocaine. Most definitely cocaine. You also, Hilda, uncork the vial and just sort of smell it a bit, and perhaps not at this point commonly used as a medicine, but you had a little kid, and even just a few decades ago, it was common. It was a lot more common in medicines. Laudanum.
Laudanum.
So the bottle contains laudanum. The vial contains cocaine. Are you going to try to steal the cocaine?
See, I I already assumed that I've pocketed it at this point, but
But
no,
directly-
I forgot we're playing a game and I have to roll for this. In my head, I've already pocketed it.
I mean, it will be it was going to be like a hard, if not extreme, sleight of hand because they all just watched you do the.
Yeah, but I'm almost not even like pretending to like, I'm not even being stealthy about it. I'm like, no, this is absolutely cocaine. And if we're being honest here, and I'm like waving this
Might as
file
well.
around, if I'm being honest here, I'm just gonna level with you because now we're all implicated in this, whether we like it or not, whatever we did, whatever it is we're looking for. See those knives over there? I helped him get those knives. I don't know what those knives are, because I don't ask questions, right? I'm the guy when you know a guy.
Okay.
He asked me for these knives. I procured these knives for him. And I didn't expect to see him on the floor in this situation.
So you're the one who caused this, from what I understand.
No.
No. You're the one who got the
Important
knife.
Important distinction.
You assisted.
He
Heavy.
asked me, listen,
Well, can they be traced back to you?
Well, now they can because
Yeah, now we all know.
know. Why'd you tell us this?
because
I
we
break
are,
easy under
we are
pressure.
in this. No, we're in this together.
No,
Look at
I
me.
know.
Give me some eyes. Give me some
No,
eyes.
Yes.
he does
We got
break.
this,
He does
all right?
break.
Okay.
Right now,
Okay.
you're covered in sock blood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got your footprints all over the place. I'm sorry to say this, but if you had some sort of, like, it's very easy to spin a lover's coil. You're lucky. I like your face. You're very sweet. I'm not going to implicate you in anything, but what I'm saying is it's very easy to see. I've read lots of papers. I read about this stuff all the time, jilted lovers and whatnot. This can seem very easily like, oh, he did me dirty. And
How
now-
dare you even suggest?
I know, but see, here's the thing.
You're
Here's
the one
thing.
who got the
I
knife.
did it. Important distinction. Just like again with the knives. Important distinction.
yeah.
I didn't say that.
You
I'm
realize
saying
you might
other
have rubbed a
people
little
would.
more cocaine on your gums than you thought.
I'm just saying. Everything looks really suspicious.
Let me take this from, I don't know if you should be the one with the cocaine, although I'm actually okay for you to be the one caught with the cocaine
Yeah,
on
well,
you.
you should probably just not touch that. Look, these could be anyone's footprints.
It could
I'm
be
saying.
anybody's cocaine. It could be anybody's knives.
And cocaine is a bit of a gray area at this point because I think they're putting it in Coca-Cola at this point.
Yeah,
that's
it was in,
fair.
it
Or
was
maybe
in-
they just stopped a little
It
while
was in
ago.
soda pop. Smoking was good for you back then for some reason. It was fine.
It's just cocaine.
It's anybody's cocaine.
So wait, I get what you're. I'm picking up what you're putting down, which is that anybody can take the fall, and therefore we should find someone to blame. Is that what you're saying? But not us.
Yes. We find somebody else.
Yeah.
We finish whatever business we got going on. Again, no questions asked. This is my line of work. People come to me and they're like, I don't want any questions. And that's what I do. So I ain't gonna get in your business unless you want to tell me, because also I'm a very trustworthy friend. The cocaine's hidden.
Oh no. Okay. Well, hey, listen.
And
Why don't
after
we
this,
read
we
this
should open
journal?
a restaurant.
Let's see what's in this journal.
Yes, yeah.
Let's see what's in the journal.
Yes.
There were exciting things in the nightstand besides the drugs, and one of them was this journal.
Yeah, what
now,
happens if I lay on the bed to read it?
so you lie down on the bed in the sort of indentation left by
Yeah.
this dead man in the other
And
room.
it's like I don't even think about it because I'm always relaxing and going to bed,
Sure, of
reading a little
course.
something, and I just need to de-stress a bit. So, I'll just lie in
So,
bed.
I mean, this does take a few minutes, but we'll compress that as. And are you reading this aloud so that the others are?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's always a good idea.
Make sure that you say aloud any weird names that you find in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But ultimately, in summary, this is a record of Gardner's dreams that he experienced. An initial skim, it takes you about 5 minutes, and reveals that Gardner was obsessed with returning to a place called the Dreamlands. His early entries are very evocative. It's like his dreams were so vivid and very, very detailed. And then slowly they become less so. And then finally, he seems in despair that he has been driven from the Dreamlands. He no longer seemed to be able to travel in this place where he slept. It was almost like he led a second life, in some ways much more fulfilling and, as I say, vivid than his waking life. once he no longer is able to enter the dreamlands, entry after entry is filled with frustration, mounting despair. Some of them simply read, "No dreams again," and then there's just pages of "No dreams again, no dreams again." Then, toward the end of the journal, there are numerous descriptions of returning, vivid dreams, where Gardner talks about meeting what he describes as a powerful being who has promised him a path back into the land of dream if certain rituals are performed. In addition, Gardner describes how his dreams make a text that he calls the tome much more understandable. The entries like, "Couldn't understand what the monk meant, but now I do. It's so clear now, yes."
Oh, man.
Could I please get, I don't think anyone has Cthulhu mythos, but anyone with a cult, I'm looking at you, might be able to make a roll at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's extreme success. 13.
Okay. With that extreme success, you are able to determine that, yes, Gardner was experiencing dreams where he was indeed in literal contact with some sort of dream entity, or perhaps you get the impression that something that was once a person, but now resided in dreams. While the unnamed person seems to change their appearance in the varying dreams, especially with that hard success on the occult roll, it seems to be the same entity within all the encounters throughout the book. Sometimes it appeared to Gardner in the guise of old acquaintances, family members, sometimes animals, sometimes weather phenomena, but always the same entity throughout. You see threads with that success. Whoever or whatever it was, it obviously had a lasting influence on Gardner, driving him to delve into the dark arts.
Do I recognize the tome that he might be referring to? Understanding better?
He only refers to it as the tome. I would like you to subtract a sanity point at this stage.
Oh.
Okay.
However,
For all of us?
no, for the person who read the book, Colin. And I would like you to increase your occult by 2 points.
Ooh. Okay.
Did he?
Go ahead.
He didn't.
And actually, can I further get a sanity roll?
Yes.
Use your initial.
Initial sanity?
Yes.
Okay, success.
Okay.
35, under 45.
We'll call that 1 point of sanity lost,
Okay.
which you've already taken into account.
Yes.
And that's the nightstand. Anywhere else in the room you would like to search?
He didn't mention me
Under
at
the
all.
bed.
though.
Under the bed?
Yes.
Did he mention? He didn't mention me at all in there, did he?
There don't seem to be any.
It's beautiful landlady. Oh. Wow.
He calls her landlady in the book.
Under the bed, you find the aforementioned slippers, which you saw poking out, and the brown shoes, which have terrible significance, or are just brown shoes.
Do they fit me though?
Anything like-
Because I will.
Are you gonna wear the dead man's shoes? Do it!
Shoes are hard. Hey, if the
Well, you know, you could probably stuff a little newspaper in the end, as
We've
they
already
did in the 30s.
established mine
Mine's
has a
hard.
huge hole in it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna-
If you want to take his shoes, I'll let you.
also, like
on.
under the mattress. If some people usually stuff
Yeah.
things they don't want them to find under the mattresses.
You toss the mattress, no sign of anything.
What are you looking for? What are you doing?
Okay.
We
you
gotta know
what?
everything.
You know
Yes,
what?
I want to know everything.
Fine. There are much worse things that you have to answer to besides cops these days. All right? Because people who are like, I know a guy, that circle of friends and associates that you deal with, if you somehow don't deliver on the things you're supposed to, they come after your pinkies, then your thumbs, and then whatever else they want.
And I don't want to end up like this guy on the floor.
Well, I think there's much worse out there than mankind is aware of.
Speaking of, yes. Well, this is, I don't, this is not Rusty talking. This is, you read all of that out loud, right? Did
Yeah.
we hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably Colin was sort of like summarizing,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this
Yes.
talks about something. I think this is the same person all the way through, that sort of.
There's a very important thing that I need to do. I want to go back and I need to look at this man's face, and I want to know if he looks like he's at peace.
Aw.
You wouldn't describe it as being at peace. In a real sense, his face is in pieces because of that spiral cut going around that I mentioned, and yeah. Doesn't seem peaceful. Eyes were not closed.
There was a time where I missed my wife so much, and I wondered if I wanted to stay here anymore without her. And but yeah, I don't want any of this. I don't want that. I don't want that.
I should get to Colin. You had specifically, you said that you wanted to stop by the nightstand on the way, and of course, this was a bit of a detour because you found all this stuff.
Yeah,
The
books?
bookcase.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm still missing 3. Still missing 3 books.
Now, you're right in that room. You're right. The bed is right across from it. The bookcase is, in fact, what divides the room. The bookcase is finely carved and has glass-fronted doors. Carved into the upright moldings that support the doors on either side are the busts of 2 flute-playing cherubs. There is a drawer at the bottom of the unit which contains a clean bed sheet and a pillowcase. You can see it's slightly ajar. All of the woodwork is detailed in intricate scroll work. Does anyone want to make an appraise roll? And in fact, you were going to appraise the dagger as well. You could do both of those.
Oh, right,
if
yeah.
you want.
I could do that. So I was appraising the daggers and also appraising the bookcase. Okay, for the daggers, I rolled a 21 under 50, so that is a hard success.
Yeah, and in fact, you also helped procure the daggers, so you have a very good idea that you didn't pay this much, but to the right collector, these could be worth upwards of $60. That's a lot of T-bone
wow.
steaks.
Lots.
And actually, to save time, I'm going to let you use not normally we do this, but the same roll. You're like, holding the knife up in front of the bookcase. You figure the bookcase, again, it's very intricate scroll work. It's probably worth at least $75.
Why was he on such tough times if he's got all this fancy loot?
I should go on with, on the shelves of the books, the shelves of the bookcase are books on finance and banking, a few travel books for obscure places, and some occult books, which you immediately recognize, including The Myths and Legends of Ancient Greece and Rome by
Mine?
E.M. Behrens.
Yes.
And as you collect it and you're sort of flipping through again, you note that Gardner has made some annotations.
Oh, he's one of those.
And in this book he borrowed from you, specifically dealing with the Greek gods Hypnos, the god of sleep, and his son Morpheus, the god of dreams. There is also another book, The Interpretation of Dreams by Sigmund Freud, which is in German. The top shelf does not have enough books to fill it, so the bookend has been used to keep the books upright. The bookend is strange. It's a monstrous thing, some kind of human-like squid creature.
Weird.
Does anyone touch this bookend?
No.
Is it touching books? Like,
It
is
is.
it holding?
It's holding up some books.
Then yeah.
Sanity roll, please.
As she's looking, can I just say, hey, Colin, if he's one of these jerks that writes in books, do you think, and he had a dream book, did he circle anything he's specifically been dreaming about?
Again, the only one that seems to have annotations on it is the Book of Ancient Greek and Roman Myths.
The only ones he marked up and defiled was the myths and legends of ancient Greece and Rome. He seems to be interested in Hypnos and Morpheus and the likes. I failed my sanity roll.
It's all
You
Greek.
failed? Okay, and as you're mid-sentence, you suddenly experience a brief vision. Brief, but from your perspective, lasting far too long. An underwater scene where indistinct and gigantic dark forms provoke a sense of dread. Your heart turns to ice in your chest as you lose another point of sanity. You do not have any Cthulhu Mythos skill, do you?
I have 5.
Then you may attempt a roll, if you would like. You've read some odd books in your time to have that skill.
No, 31.
31.
Push it.
But even with a failed roll, a name swims unbidden at the front of your mind. Again, the fact that you even have that skill indicates that you've pursued some very esoteric research.
Just like books.
And the name, inscribed in various tomes, different interpretations, sometimes Tulu, sometimes Cthulhu. And with that, you're bathed in sweat. Everyone in the room notices that Colin is visibly disturbed and is shaking right now.
Uh-oh.
Cthulhu.
What is it? What did you learn? What did
You
you
all
learn?
right?
Am I holding the bookend?
Did you pick it up or did you just touch it?
I guess I picked it up now.
Yeah, you're holding it in your hand right now. It feels ice cold to your touch.
Okay.
Rusty,
Interesting.
a sanity roll, please.
Nice. 9.
You rolled a 9?
I rolled a 9, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, big deal. You put it back on the shelf.
That's a 9, right? I always get messed up with that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
No,
109. I know that's not possible, but
you also are quite unnerved by this, and you do. Again, you don't have like a full-blown vision, but you just, and especially with that name ringing in your ears, you just feel a real urge to put this thing down.
I'm. You know what I'm gonna do? I want to have a seat and take a better look at it. I'm gonna walk over to that sofa seat that's facing the corner. I'm gonna sit in it while I take a closer look at this.
Before you do, you actually notice something. The space between the drawer at the bottom of the bookcase and the bottom shelf is too big.
Oh.
There could be room for another drawer in there.
Oh, look at this.
If you draw everyone's attention to
Yeah,
this?
yeah. This is weird, isn't it?
What'd you find? What'd you find?
I think I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna put my hand in there and try to open. I'm gonna explore. I wanna get to the bottom of this. We're running out of time. The
All
cop's
right.
gonna be here.
So anyone who because everyone's attention's been drawn, anyone who likes to could make a spot hidden, or if you have woodworking, if anyone has woodworking,
I
feel free.
actually do.
You do? Okay.
I did see.
Is it higher than your spot hidden?
Let's.
It should be under art/craft and then in
Yes,
brackets.
art,
wood-
craft, woodworking, spot,
What if I
hidden.
just wanted to like
No.
Okay.
break this? What if I just wanted to break it open?
I'm fine with this.
You could. You could just try smashing it.
I'll try. Well, you can do this
Okay.
first.
Okay, so anyone who wants to make spot hidden or woodworking, feel free.
I'll try a spot hidden. I don't think I'm gonna make this. Nope.
I have a success. 43 under 45.
Great,
Yeah, 37 under 45.
great.
I'm freaking out.
You're still freaking out. You've lost a couple of points of sanity
Yeah.
in quick succession.
I'm still holding the bookend.
Yeah,
Put that down.
yeah. You put
You
it.
just put it in my hand. It looks nice.
Yeah, you're getting more increasingly unnerved as you hold on to
put
it.
it
But
down.
you did make your sanity roll, so you're fine.
Yeah.
But you, with your success, actually all of you might simultaneously discover this, a button hidden in the scrollwork on the front of the bookcase near one of the cherubs.
I press it.
As you do so, a panel slides open. Inside, you can see a number of things. You immediately see a primer in Greek vocabulary, which you recognize as the last, I believe, of the books that you need to collect.
It's mine.
There are also 2 accounting ledgers
Yes.
and a pile of receipts, which you immediately recognize.
Yes. I grab those.
In addition, an obsidian knife, identical to the one that you all found underneath Gardner's body. And an object, looks to be a book, wrapped in silk cloth.
The tome.
I knew he was looking for something more than just some library books.
I know all books interest me.
Maybe just take it easy for a second. Are you sure you want to touch that?
I take the book and put it in their hands. You did it to me. I'm doing it back.
Touching the book itself does not, and again, as you do so, the silk sort of falls open, and yes, you can see that in Greek script upon the cover is the title, The Book of Dream Memories. And as I say, it is in ancient Greek, so you are fairly sure that you could read it.
The Book of Dream Memories, you know. It seems like our friend, Mr. Gardner, may be able to transport himself to another realm, another place.
Well, I don't think he had much luck, though.
Well, perhaps he's no longer with us, but he might be there.
Is that really possible? I mean,
Do you want to find out?
Wait. So,
Okay,
So,
I do.
Hold on.
so you're saying he might still be not here, but here.
Maybe.
Right.
So-
As I'm like grabbing.
So what does the book? What does
No,
it say?
not that book. I got
My
my
book.
I want to call out into the space. Are you here with us?
From across the hall, you can now hear the sounds of Wayne King and his orchestra. The song, Dream a Little Dream of Me.
My wife like this.
Oh,
No.
The question is, do you open the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, open.
Very well. It is in Greek, so I will need a roll.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So I believe it's a fun. Oh, 97? I'm gonna push it. We got what?
Yeah.
23
push it.
minutes? 20 minutes
Yeah,
left?
come on.
What do you get?
Success.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Hard success,
Exactly.
regular success.
Just a regular success.
Okay. I'm being very generous by allowing you to push that fumble, but yes, let's do it. Ancient Greek reveals that this seems to be, again, you're flipping through the pages at a very high speed, but it is a barely coherent account of what seems to be, again, from context, a monk, perhaps again, from context clues, an Irish monk, hundreds of years ago, describing dreams he experienced after reading some ancient scrolls discovered while cleaning out the monastery's library. It's, again, this seems to be a 1658 edition of the book, a later reproduction of the original. It's bound in cracked and worn leather, frail with age. There is a page of interest that you actually managed to find. You find the details are confusing, as one might expect of transcribed dreams, but the writer claims to be making regular visits in his dreams to somewhere he calls the Dreamlands. It suggests that the writer was having dreams in which they were reading a dream book, and sections of this book appears to be an attempt to write down what he was seeing in this book in his dreams. Where the bookmark is placed, there seems to be instructions on how to enter the dream realm. The writing on the scrap of paper near the body that you found is the same as on this page of the book, and that page was actually torn from here. Near to this page are diagrams showing spiral shapes drawn upon a human body, just like the ones on Gardner's corpse. And there are chants and instructions written down. One seems to be a magical means of entering the dreamland and does involve an obsidian knife, speaking the chant aloud. The petitioner must free, again in quotes, free thy mind from thy fleshy prison and render thy body still. There seems to be another ritual which must be done first to ensure that thy vessel is pure and prepared as living armor. It is at this point that you hear a wet, ripping sound coming from the other side of the bookcase. In the other half of the room where the body lies. You hear what sounds like a footstep and then another stumbling as the corpse of James Gardner stumbles out from behind the bookcase with all of you, I believe, conveniently trapped in that very small bedroom area.
Yeah.
And it between you and the door. It is upright, the eyes are staring, and the cracking sound as it moves. Again, this wet, tearing sound. As suddenly, the skin on his head seems to unspool like a horrible party trick with an apple.
Oh no. Can I do something yet?
Yeah? Oh, I'm not done with my horrific description yet.
Man. Go on.
Yes, that dragging sound, the wet tearing, the mutilated body of the room's former tenant, shifting its limbs and pulling itself towards you, now all looking as it meets your eyes. The skin, as I mentioned, begins to peel, falling downwards around the neck, and the blood-slicked skull turns to look at all of you with pure malevolence in its lidless eyes, particularly towards the one holding the book, Colin. As
You're gonna give it to me?
we enter combat, and I believe
Yeah.
that no one has a firearm readied at this point, so we will be going strictly based on dexterity. So, I think that is Rusty. Rusty has the highest dex at 80, I want to say.
I do.
Okay, Rusty, what would you like to do?
I feel really bad doing this. Are you mid-handing the book to me?
Yes.
Yeah, so that is what is starting to happen, but it has not occurred
Yeah.
yet.
Can I then take this cue? Here's what I want to do. I want to take this book and I want to take my lighter. I want to light it on fire.
Oh no!
You can do that if you would like. If you would like to do that for your turn, then you are more than free
I'm gonna
to
do that.
Rusty!
Yeah. I mean, and then, yeah.
Okay.
Lighting this book on fire.
So-
it doesn't feel good to do that, but
So that I should mention, it is like a thick leather book. So, I mean, the pages, you could just like start trying to light the pages on fire.
yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
try to light the pages of this book on fire.
You immediately notice that as soon as the book changes hands, as soon as you have it, the eyes in the skull immediately lock on you.
Uh-oh.
And it is staring directly at you now. And you flip out your lighter, no problem. It's an easy enough thing to do. Won't make a dex roll or anything for that. But it doesn't just go. It's like
Starts
a few of the edges of the pages start to catch a flame. And as you do so, this thing's jaw, this fleshless skull skinless skull drops open, and it lets out a horrific roar. But that is what you have done on your turn.
Yeah.
Who has the next highest dexterity? I believe we have two people with 60s, yes?
I have 50.
And who else? Dex?
40.
Dex, okay, so Dex 40, Dex 50. So you next? Or sorry, 60 for you, and then 50.
We both have 50. Yeah. Oh, 60. You have 50. Okay.
I want to grab the obsidian knife from the drawer.
Yeah, it's right there. You're right by the bookcase, so you have that knife in your hand currently.
I'm gonna try and stab it.
Very well.
Yes.
I was like, you just gotta double zombie him.
Very well.
Double negative.
Now, normally we use a knife skill on this, but again, I want to be generous to you guys and just say that you're sort of using it like a stake or anything, so an improvised weapon. Let's go with Brawl for you.
Okay.
Again, normally this would be much harder, but
We're doomed anyway.
I feel sorry for you all. So we'll go with your Brawl.
So I grab the knife like, James.
What is your Brawl and what did you roll?
My brawl is 15. I got a 96.
Yeah, that is a fumble. You actually, as you're stumbling towards it, you trip on the carpet and fall on the knife.
What?
I'm going to let you roll the damage. It's a d6 of damage.
Phew.
2 points. Could have been much worse.
Okay.
You take 2 points of damage as you feel this knife stab into you. I'm going to say it's not in a particularly vital area, but you did get stabbed with that knife. And you are prone on the floor. But this thing doesn't seem to be paying attention to you. It didn't even notice that you were charging towards it. It is completely fixated on Rusty right now. So, 50 dex.
Oh, very good. Sorry. So I take out my Derringer and I'm loading it. I'm like, is this about the wallet?
I'm even going to say that you probably keep your Derringer loaded because you know,
Okay.
that's what a Derringer is good
So
for.
as I'm taking out the Derringer, like the $2, the $147, the wallet, all fall out because it's all stuffed, and I'm just kicking it over back to him, like, listen, you can have it back. You can have it back. But I still, am I able to shoot at this round?
Yes, you are.
Okay, yes, then I will shoot at it. Remind me what
I'd say, yeah, you definitely, like Derringer, it might even be like in one of those little quick draw wrist holsters or something like that. The whole idea of the Derringer is that you can have it prepared in an instant.
Okay, cool. Remind me though what I rolled to
You got firearm skill. It should be under your weapons there.
that's right.
If you need me to look that up,
yes,
I can.
I got it. I rolled a 34 under 60.
You have succeeded. You have succeeded. Please roll your damage.
Okie dokie.
Again, this thing does not seem to be diving for cover or doing anything.
3 points of damage.
3 points of damage. In the close quarters of this little bedroom, the sound of the Derringer is like a cannon going off. You see the point of impact on this thing as it hits it. Where were you aiming specifically?
At his chest.
Yeah, well,
Let's say.
as you do, again, the shirt is open and flowing, you see the spirals suddenly glow as the bullet hits it. And flattens and falls to the ground. And you recall the talk in the book of preparing thy body as living armor.
Oh no.
And once again, the spirals cover all of this thing, except for the head, because the head doesn't even have skin on it anymore.
So technically, the spiral cutout that he's of his flesh does not count as
No,
a
because it all
spiral?
fell away.
Okay.
And the head literally does not have anything on it. The rest of the body, again, once the spiral where it hit glowed, and then the spirals just sort of spread out from there. You know, even though the ones on its hands glowed briefly.
Okay. And did you say, I'm not familiar with this type of gun, does it have to be reloaded every shot?
Yes, it does. It's
So
a Derringer
as I'm
one
like
shot.
looking for like my pockets, like, hey for the head, hey for the head.
Yes. And you did 3 points of damage?
Yes.
As I say it, it flattened out and just like ding, ding, you heard it fall to the floor. 40, no, let's see. Yes, 40 dex.
Okay. Well, okay, but what if I can find a way to reverse it? What if there's the answer to how to stop it in there? Let me at least look through it.
Are you just trying to stop him from burning the book?
I want gonna try.
I thought you read the whole book.
Look through. No, I skimmed it.
Oh, I thought you were a really fast reader.
I am a fast reader.
So if that's what you're doing on your turn,
Yeah, would you allow like a library use or?
I will tell you that's probably not going to be much good at this point. And I should have done this right at the outset, but I'm going to say a slightly delayed reaction because I didn't want to be too mean to you. Everyone make a sanity roll.
Oh, yeah.
You're being confronted with
That
like,
is
utter horror.
fair. That is fair.
Dang.
Fail.
Sanity
Fail.
is under.
succeed.
Oh, okay,
29.
that's what I said. All right. I rolled above my sanity.
So you failed?
Failed.
I succeed.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of
Ooh, success for Rusty. Well done.
Yeah. I'm clearly the most sane person right now.
Clearly, quite clearly. All right. So who succeeded and who failed?
Failed.
Failed?
We all
failed,
failed except-
failed,
I succeeded.
succeed. Okay. So Rusty, you lose a single point of sanity.
Okay.
Everyone else, you are going to lose, could be worse, 2 points of sanity. Could have been much worse, I'll tell you that right now. How many points of sanity have you lost total? Only 4?
4.
Very lucky.
total.
Okay. And so we're in this horrific situation and it's about to get worse because it's now this thing's turn. And as I say, its eyes are fixed completely on you, Rusty. It snapped over from Colin the moment the book passed into your hands.
Like, could I try and get it back, or is it?
You could try on your turn when it's your turn, but I mean, do you want it to wrestle it out of his hands or just stop him from? Because we can go.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, it would be opposed strength.
Yes, I'll try to wrestle it out of his hand.
All right,
Let's
please.
do it.
You make make a strength
I
roll.
didn't think you were gonna
Tell me
burn
who
it.
has the higher success.
Aha. 17.
Yeah, okay, that wins. I got 54.
17 under 8.
Yes, Rusty still has the book in his hands. However, as I mentioned, it is, and so that happened on your turn. Then you all lost quite a bit of sanity, well, a little bit of sanity, and it is now this thing's turn. As a dreadful piping sound seems to fill the room, emanating from this thing's throat, this dire tune which seems somehow to be coming from a great distance, vast, almost interstellar distance. And all those who hear it, the 4 of you, could I please make a power roll?
Oh. Oh, no. Nice.
I'm gonna spend some luck. Oh, can I do that on a?
I'll let you, yeah, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you.
Hard success on my end.
Hard success?
91 out of.
So, okay, not so good.
Hard success.
Hard success. And
A regular success.
a regular success. Okay. So,
I can spend.
But I'll
yeah.
spend it if I need the hard success.
do you want to spend enough? I would suggest that you spend enough to turn it into a hard
I
success.
will do that. then.
Okay, then spend that probably quite a bit of luck.
Yes. it
Yep.
is, Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah, you got what?
I got a 91 out of 50.
Yeah.
I would like to spend 41.
41 luck?
42.
Oh, you just need 41.
I just need 41, right? I just got to meet it. But, I mean, yeah, well, let's find out what happens.
How much luck will that leave you with?
That'll still leave me with 19.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I spent 50.
Huh?
I spent 50 just.
Yeah, I mean,
But
Yeah.
I'm glad I let
we're
you
very
do that
close.
just to burn all of your luck.
I know.
So, this horrible piping sound, for a moment you all feel dazed. I will tell you that if you had been dazed successfully, you would not have been able to, you would have suffered a penalty die to all skill rolls, and you would not have been able to initiate any attack.
Oh.
However, through the massive expenditure of luck in some of your cases, you have managed to avoid that fate. Back to the top of the round. What would you like to do?
It It starts with me. How on fire is this book at this point, the pages?
Just beginning to catch. Just beginning to catch.
Okay.
Please, Rusty.
No, what do you mean? This is the thing that got us in this mess.
It's not the book's fault.
Oh man, okay. I gotta still burn this thing more. I need something to burn it more. But I don't want to burn
Try
us
the
down.
cocaine.
How flammable is
I don't know. Let's try.
If the pages are already catching on fire, here's what I'm gonna do. I want to move to the other side of the room. I know that might require me to move past this thing, but I'm gonna try to get. To like the doorway.
Okay, so you're gonna run to the door.
Yes, and I'm still. While I'm doing that, if there's anything to like kick at this thing, I'll try to just do anything I can to get him a little bit distracted.
I will say this, you're probably not gonna make it past him because he's right there. We'll see, he might try to attack you on his turn.
Okay, then here's the thing. I wish I was playing a brave person, but I'm just a person who misses his wife, who is hard on his luck, and as much as I think that he would be able to sustain this thing coming for him and staring at him while he's burning this, I don't think I'm gonna chuck the book at him.
You throw the book at him.
I'm at his head.
You're gonna throw the book at him.
I'm gonna throw the book at him, yeah, exactly.
All right. So you throw the book towards him. Yeah, make a dex roll, I guess. Yeah, let's try that. Do you have throw skill?
A throw skill.
You probably do.
Oh, man. Okay, so that's a 56, and my throw is 25. And I just spent a whole bunch of luck, and I don't got. Oh wait, I can push.
Try pushing.
Push it.
The best time.
It's still, yeah. Why not? Oh no, that's bad. That's worse. 65.
No.
So you're trying to throw this book to harm this thing. It snatches it out of the air.
Oh, good.
But it's still looking at you. The
No,
last one who dared to touch this book.
Oh no.
Next highest dex, please, 60.
And I'm on the floor.
Oh,
Yep.
That's right. Sorry, I didn't help you.
How far away is it from me?
It's only a few feet, again, small room, but it doesn't seem to be paying any attention to you.
I'm gonna start crawling towards the door to get away.
And in fact, because, it's sort of moving into the room, you can actually start crawling towards the door. You, in fact, reach it, and are you just going to run away?
I tell you to go. Go.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and get out of the room.
You gotta keep going.
Yeah.
As you fling open the door, you see Tommy standing there with a uniformed police officer and a man in a fedora who looks like he was just about to knock on the door. And as they see what's going on, they're not quite sure what's going on, but you see the police officer reach for the gun on his belt. This guy starts reaching into his coat.
My cocaine's being thrown away.
And I'll let you bundle Tommy out of the way as part of your
I just scream like, no, don't come in here. And I mean, I honestly am probably not feeling well enough to get up, but I just push, get on my knees and push him out of the way.
You get both him and yourself clear of the door. The police are there. Let us go with 50 dex.
All right. So I was loading the gun. I'm still loading for this round, or am I able to?
Again, it's a Derringer, and I feel very generous, and we have very little time left. So
here we go. 63 over 60. So I still have luck. I'm gonna spend that luck to make it a success.
Great, and you're aiming for the head?
Yes.
Then I'm afraid I must ask you to. Oh wait, you would apply a penalty die for aiming at the head, but you're at point blank range, so that cancels it out. It's a wash, so spend that luck.
Yes. All right. So it's a success.
Nice.
That is a success, and roll your damage, please,
All right.
which will bypass this.
6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. Okay. As one of the bullets, it takes out one of its eyes. This thing is howling. Do you shout your previous thing of go for the head? Because you can see the cops in the doorway.
Yeah, I'm shouting to the cop, go for the head, aim for the head. I don't know, it's a zombie, aim for the head.
You hear one of them go, "What's a zombie?" As they're still going for their guns. Over to you.
Okay, I have the books I came for.
What happened to all this? We're in this together stuff.
Are you just gonna dip?
All for one, one for all.
Where
Yeah,
are
right.
you?
I'm right. I'm probably right in this person's face, right? Like he was coming for me. I'm like, yeah. You don't
We have seconds remaining.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to book it, and I'll tackle. I'll tackle Rusty on the way out if I need to, but I will grab my friend as I go, and I say to the police officers, "Get him! I'm just a librarian."
And as you manage to just get past the officers who are also waiting into the room, as they pull their guns, and with your instructions, you're just screaming, "Shoot for the head," they look like they're in the middle of failing a couple of sanity rolls, but they still unleash with their guns, firing as many bullets as they possibly can into this thing's head as what was once James Gardner falls to the floor of his apartment. Congratulations to all of you on surviving this brush.
What?
And thank all of you. Once again, we will remind you that Chaosium is in booth 509 over on the convention floor. We will remind you that, oh yes, Graveyards of Arkham is currently live on Kickstarter. You have 4 days left to back that, the sequel to Bookshops of Arkham. Tomorrow, we've got a meet and greet at 2:30 p.m. with myself, Josephine, and Patrick Logan from Bookshops of Arkham. Saturday at 3:30, there will be another meet and greet with Noura and Harli. And on Saturday at 12:30, drop by for the cosplay contest. And of course, we have your starter sets available at the back of the room. Thank you all for attending All-Star Call of Cthulhu here at GenCon 2023. Thank you very much.